Hello everyone, a warm welcome from myself, Ganesh Prasad KG, student of Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Computer Science, Bachelor of Engineering, first year. I'm here to give you a demonstration, a presentation about on a beautiful, a very exciting and highly efficient database manipulation and management software, that is SAP Lumira. So let's get started. So this is the welcome screen of our SAP Lumira with a good static sentence. SAP Lumira is a breeze to learn. Yes, it is. So uh, I'm here to give you a wonderful demo, and what I'm giving right now is based on a subject called as import log of India. So I want to show you how analysis can be made easily in SAP Lumira. So what I'll be saving this is in this way. So import log of India analysis. So let's get started. There was a lot of rows and columns, so it took some time. So this is the visualization. This is the prepare module. It basically shows the database or the dataset which you have already selected. So there is nothing much to do here except data manipulation for a certain cell in a particular column and row. But right now in my demonstration, in my project, I have nothing to do when it comes to data manipulation. But one thing which is really important for each and everyone who uses visualization is to better create a geographic hierarchy. This is all everyone must make, everyone must do, and this is going to give a better experience when it comes to visualizations. So this was analyzing the geographical data. SAP Lumira detects the name and it assigns the equivalent country in the geomap. And let's come back to the visualization module. Let's start with analysis of the wheat, the cereal or the grain wheat, which we have been importing from several countries. Let's start with the donut pie chart, and let's consider this now. I want to know all the money or the quantity I have been buying, or this is only for a single year. If I want to know or if I want to analyze the same for multiple years, all I have to do is take a pie with a variable depth size. This is an exclusive chart, and here let us consider this. I want to take quantity 2011 to 12, quantity 2012 to 13, and the sector color is nothing but the countries. So here I have it, the best way. Don't you think this is really exciting? I really think of it all the time. So this is the depth pie chart. You can easily rotate it. This is one among the good features and reportable features in SAP Lumira, and this is for all the product commodities. But I want to know about wheat, as I told you right now. So I want to add a filter, that is what I call principal commodity. So here I have the principal commodity. So I want to take out the filter. So this is the filter I have been inserting right now, the principal commodity, and here I can search what I want. As I told you, I want to analyze about wheat right now. This is what I have. See, Australia. In Australia, the quantity of wheat we imported was 2,921 tons, and in the same financial year, we imported 23 tons of wheat from Russia. This is how it works. So let us save this visualization, and the next visualization I want to show you is more exciting than this, more flexible than this chart. the geo feature this is called as the chloroplet chart, and the geo feature value which you have to include here is let's consider this one, the quantity, and you can also add one or two here also. And the geo features which we want here is the country, for each and every country. And the filter, of course, once again, as I told you, we have to think about wheat right now, and I'm adding it. So this is already filtered right now. See, this is more flexible than the older one which I showed you. So don't you think this is really exciting? Now we can easily see that Italy in 2011 to 12, the financial year, we imported 22 tons of wheat, and in the same year we did not import anything from Russia, but we imported some part uh, of wheat, but not in the same year. That is why we have the color, but the color does not show that there is some import, but it is a member in exporting wheat to our country. And the same thing can be applicable, but the thing is, I'll change the quantity. Now I change it from 2011 to 12 to 12 to 13, and the geo features which I'm going to add will always remain the same, and the filters will also remain the same. All I just changed was the quantity, the number of tons which I imported. So I'm doing the same thing here. Now we can easily concentrate on the financial year 12 to 13, and now we can see that 2921 tons of wheat was imported from Australia, and this time from Italy nothing was, not even 1 ton was imported. And in 12 to 13, 23 tons of wheat was imported from Russia. So we can also save this. All these visualizations which I am doing will be directly used in storyboarding for greater analysis. Now after doing these things, let's also do a basic column chart. Now what I'm going to add as a primary value here will be quantity in 2011 to 12, and we can also change it with a dual axis. I'll show you what is the importance. In an ordinary bar graph you can add only one primary value, that's going to be only one axis, but here you have two y-axis. That's the best part of it. And of course axis label will be the country itself, and the region color we are not going to talk about it, as we are concentrating on the commodity which we'll be taking. And we can easily see now that in this context, that from Indonesia and other countries, especially when it comes to Indonesia, we have imported much amount. Despite what we are importing, it is significant to note here that the weight, in terms of weight, we are talking about it right now. But leaving these things behind, let us come back to our mainstream. Now let us continue with something talking about tea. Tea is one among the favorite beverages in India. All Indians like it. So let's see how we are dealing with it right now in this situation. So this is what we have right now, and we have already selected the basics things. But now as I told you, we are talking about tea, so we need to concentrate about it right now, and I'm adding it as a filter. See, this is the best part of Lumira. You can easily access it in real time and make the best use of it with a faster systems going on around the world. So you can see now Nepal is the first country from which we are obtaining higher amount or heavy amount of teas. Next it is Kenya. It's the second country in the standing place from which we have been importing tea, and next comes Iran, Indonesia, and so on. We are saving it for our further analysis, and we are coming back to the chlorophyll. Chloroplet chart again. So here what we are doing is quantity from 2011 to 12, and geo features, of course, the countries as it is, and the filter here was as it is in the previous chart, T. So here we are. We can easily check out that when it comes to wheat, we are not asking much countries for import, but here we have been in contact with several countries to import tea, which means there is a lot of necessity and there is a lot of demand in our country for tea. This is what I call basic analysis. This is how SAP is helpful in making in understanding each and every complex situation to a layman in graphical interpretations, which is really the best part of it, and we can save it. And this is a scale which I really like, so that we can make sure we can perform data mining, and we'll come back to it, of course. Let us continue with our journey. And here we are. Now we have to choose the quantity imported in tons in the financial year 12 to 13, and the access label here is going to be this countries. Unfortunately, we have taken the country, but the clear what we need is a chloroplet. So we have it here. Filter here, of course, is the principal commodity with T as a filter, and this is about the import log of tea into in the financial year 12 to 13, and this is 11 to 12. So we can see a lot of difference, but when we have a clear understanding and good data mining going on, it's easy to make out the differences between, which will be discussed later. And going on to the next one, we also need to have a country inside of those who are contributing in our economy by giving us or taking out the resources from us. I mean import and export, of course. So let us see how China is contributing imports and exports in our country. This is how we can make sure about this is how we can explain the information, explain complex situations within all around the time in single situation, single point of reference. Let us now consider the transaction made by our country for 2 consecutive financial years, and the sector color being the country, and filter, of course, being the principal commodity. uh, of course, the country must be the, we need to insert the country because we are concentrating on China. So all we have to do is filter China, so this is what we get. And if we want to know all the products we deal with, sector color, we can change it and add principal commodity. So this is how we get it, the most beautiful things of all. So this is what we are daily dealing up with. So isn't that really great, guys? I love this. All I can say is I love SAP Lumira, because look at this, just have a look at this is what we need to learn from SAP Lumira. It gives perfect data analysis. So when we have concentrated it to China, all we get to know is when it comes to China's imports and exports, China is exporting electronic goods to us in major, and next comes electrical and electronic devices, next comes organic chemicals, and next comes the project goods, and it goes on to the end. And it also shows the revenue we have paid to them in exchange of these commodities for 2 consecutive years. This is the best part, guys. This is what we need to learn from SAP Lumira. Moving on, we need to also make another which I really appreciate. It's a tag cloud chart. I would like to insert tag weight and tag family. Of course, that's what we have. That's what the revenue we have been paying to the Chinese, and the tag name here will be the principal commodity, and filter being the country, and of course what we are filtering now is China. So here we are, the tag cloud chart saying that electronic goods, the font size, higher the font size, higher is the count, which means electronic goods is the number one, which is being exported from China to India on a larger extent. And it goes on based on the font, and we can also make research on this. What I mean by this, friends, is if I really want to know what is the revenue have been paying, if it is between 0 to 2560 million, what are the goods I get within. So this is, if this is the gap, then what are the goods I get in that budget. This is how we can analyze our things. We can analyze what we need to buy, what we need to import from other countries. This is how we get it. We can still filter. See, so what we get to know now is India has been spending from 0 to $360 million to import these things to our countries, and we can still filter and go on. So now we can see now that this is nothing but data mining. This is the practical meaning of data mining. So this is what I get to see. We have been spending very small amount, though it is not very small when it comes to the order of $1 million. We have been spending in point ranges to import other cereal commodities, like other cereal which are essential for food, from China. So this is how it works. This is how data mining is made efficient and graphically and user friendly for a user. He might not be knowing a programming language or a query language, but he can easily make use of data mining, and this is the best part of SAP Lumira. Let's continue the same topic, but let's do it for Sri Lanka now. Don't you think that is relatively important? Because all I am doing right now, the in-depth is just with our neighboring countries, whom we need to call brothers and sisters of India. So I'm conducting the same procedure here. Sector color being the principal commodity, and filter being the country exporting, and I get down here and I type Sri Lanka. I get it, I add it, and here we are, my friends, the wonderful sight of another depth chart, depth varying pie chart. So here we can easily see this being the transport equipment. So Sri Lanka is exporting transport equipment as the most into our country. Next comes other commodities and spices and textile yarn, fabrications and other made particles, and machineries except electronics and electricals, and electrical machineries except electronics, and so on. It goes on. So this is how we can easily have an insight over a country or any other process. It necessarily need not be a business. It can be any process, any member of a process can be easily seen through. And let's get to the tag cloud chart. The tag weight being the pay from 2 consecutive years, and tax name being the principal commodities we are dealing with, and the filter being the country as usual, and we filter Sri Lanka again. So if we follow the same procedure, we can easily produce the best out of what we have. We can do the same thing, we can follow up the same thing for the whole, all of the countries with whom we are dealing right now. And here we are once again showing the hierarchies, and through this we come to an end of visualization. After finishing what we have been learning in the visualize module. Let's continue with the compose module. The compose module is very helpful for a customer or an HR or any team leader in explaining others how a development of process or the agenda of a process can be easily made out. And I'm going to give a short demo on that right now. Let us consider this. But as you see, what you look right now is what people call storyboard. Storyboard is really important to conclude any data. It is not self necessary or self enough for a data set and visualizations for a proper put together sentence. So let's get started with the storyboarding. Let me say import analysis of commodities. So this is what I name, and title, of course. First one what we'll be dealing right now is wheat import analysis. So great. And we can also see that the option which will be given from SAP Lumira to show the title or not. You can see this, and a background color can also be inserted to the storyboard, as you can see at the background, but I prefer white. So we can also insert an image. As far as I'm ready with it, I have considered an image here. So this is what I have considered for my wheat analysis, and yeah, don't you think this looks nice? So we can also change the opacity so that whatever we put in here will be can be seen easily. So I'll drag and drop the depth pie chart, the chloro the geograph which I have created for two different years, two different financial year. I have put it in, and we can also add a control, which means we can even again filter it down. So I'm gonna add 12 to 13 financial years control here. This is about the range of the money which has been spent, but this is in INR. You need to make sure you put whatever we have used as a scale here, the $1,000,000 right here. And you can also maximize a selected one, and pressing escape will take that away. I mean, minimize it to the normal thing, like this. We can also zoom it in the normal way as it was. This gives a positive effect to the one who will be looking at the visualization on the storyboards, so that easier analysis can be done. So this is this makes a wheat analysis pretty ready, and let us consider a new storyboard, and I would like to name it as T import analysis, and I drag all those things that have been derived. So these are the visualizations which I have created. We can also minimize the control if we are not in need of it. That is the best part of using the utilization of software. Is the main part where one can easily win over the customers, and I can I can say for 100% that yeah, SAP Lumira has succeeded in doing it. It is already it has already attracted a lot of customers behind, and I've added a background image here, little you know, it's pretty good. So this is what I have now. I can also change the orientation where I need this to be. also, and I can easily manipulate the visualization or even maximize it as per the necessity. And this is about the analysis, the import analysis. And as I told you, control is really important to have some insights and manipulate and dig on some data more and more as fast as possible, as much as possible. And now let us come to our China insight. But let us not do it in the same storyboard. Let us save it right here and take a new story, and I would like to name the story as country import insight. So let's get started with this. I'm dropping China's visualization which I just made, and of course we need to rename the board as China's import insight. And the controls, however, is optional, but I just want to put in the latest, the recent financial year which we are still going on right now. And taking on to the next storyboard is what we did right now was Sri Lanka's import insight. Let us first prepare all this and then we'll start storyboard, and I'm pretty sure that will bring new hope and new interest to the listeners and viewers. I'm pretty sure about that. All you have to do is wait for some time so that you get the best out of it. So let us add a background image. I'm gonna browse and put some photo here. I can also change once I have put in, and change the opacity too. Next, when it comes to Sri Lanka's import insight, let us put in and when you maximize it, you cannot find the background image, so that whatever you see will be crystal clear. So as I told you, I need my controls here. When we put in another attribute, the older one gets tossed off, so but I need the value here so that I can give you a nice story here. So we are done with the storyboarding. Let us save it, and let us save the whole file. Let me say import analysis final, and I'm going to save it here. We can also save it in Lumira cloud too, but right now let's save it in the local system itself. And as I told you, import analysis final. We can also add some descriptions. Only made for China and Sri Lanka. Alright, let's get over with it. So we have successfully saved the document, and we are done with these things. So coming to the bright side of SAP Lumira is what I always wanted. So let's get started with the storyboarding. let's consider I have a customer, or I am working in Indian embassy or any other Indian organization where I deal with the import and export. I give the storyboarding to anyone, and if someone asks me about any indexing, I can easily give the details about that. If anyone needs to know about the wheat which I have paid for so and so money, it is easily possible for us, if at all we have a scaling within the limit. If at all we have a scaling within the limit, it is always easy to show them about these things. So when we use these controls and make sure we have a predefined context already, it is easy and it is possible to give them a reasonable explanation about any process going on, any event, or any part of a project for which they need a conclusion. So this comes to an end of import analysis of commodities, and we can also see we can also have a look at the team import analysis too. So this is all we have right now. The controls, as you can see, when I put controls and if I take a certain amount which we need to see, you can easily get the data, provided they have a predefined context within. If the scale which we put, if it's not within limit, of course it does not show up. So this is all about the storyboarding, and of course we come to an end of this demonstration. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.